welcome back to my channel. As you probably already seen in the title, I'm gonna show you how to make 3 different kinds of mug cakes, and they're all super easy and super yummy. One is a Lemon Poppyseed Mug Cake, and one is a Fudgy Chocolate Mug Cake without flour. The third one is Chocolate Chip Mug Cake. You can also find all of these 3 mug cakes in my recipe app, the Fudgy Chocolate app. I will leave a link down below where you can check it out. So in the app you can use the search filter and type in mug cakes. There you will find all of the mug cakes in the app. To make a mug cake we need first and foremost a mug. Any mug will do as long as it's safe in the microwave. If you don't have oat flour like this and you just have like regular rolled oats, you can just take your blender, add in some rolled oats and blend it until it becomes a flour. It can take different amount of time depending on what kind of blender you have. I have a Vitamix, but it works with a food processor as well, but you just have to blend a little bit longer before it becomes oat flour. Then you can just add it into a jar like this, which you can seal, and you can have it in your pantry, and it's ready to go for mug cakes or banana pancakes or yeah, whatever you want to use it for. So first up is the Fudgy Chocolate Mug Cake. This is the flourless mug cake, and it calls for 4 tablespoons mashed avocado, 2 tablespoons of tahini, but I'm using peanut butter, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of cacao powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. First off, I'm gonna mash this avocado. Preferably you want to use a really ripe avocado so it's easier to mash and it will have a creamier consistency. This one is on the harder side. So you should mash it until it becomes like really mashed, because otherwise you will have avocado lumps in the mug cake, which maybe is not that pleasant. For all mug cakes you should start with adding the dry ingredients. So for this one it's the cacao powder and baking powder. So 2 tablespoons of cacao powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and then stir to combine. Now when you've added the dry ingredients, we are gonna add all of the wet ingredients and then stir to combine, and then we're gonna pop it into the microwave. Now we're gonna put this one into the microwave on full heat, 1.5 minutes, because the batter was quite thick. If you have a little bit thinner batter than this, you can have it in the microwave for about 2 minutes. And then we wait. This one is done when you see that it's somewhat dry on the top, but remember that this is supposed to be fudgy, so it will not be dry inside at all. And this one looks perfect. I'm gonna do a taste test when the other 2 mug cakes are done as well. So this one is going to cool off a bit, and you don't want to eat it directly after microwave because it's super hot. And next up is the lemony mug cake, and this is also in my recipe app. It's called Fudgy Chocolate. As I mentioned before, I will leave it a link to the app in the description down below. This one is only on iOS right now, but maybe when you see this it's also on Android, because we are developing it for Android as well. So yeah, the ingredients for this mug cake is some oat flour, some vanilla powder or vanilla extract, baking powder, poppy seeds, lemon juice, and some tahini. The recipe calls for cashew butter, but I didn't have any, so tahini works just as well. And then we're gonna add some lemon zest to it as well. So all of these mug cakes are actually gluten-free. If you can't have gluten, make sure you use gluten-free oats before you make oat flour of it. Just as the other mug cakes, we are gonna start with combining all of the dry ingredients from making this zest before because it's easier. 3 tablespoons of the oat flour. If you don't have oat flour and you are not allergic to gluten, you can also use regular flour. 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla powder or vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon of poppy seeds, and then stir to combine. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Forgot to mention this before, but we're gonna add some plant milk. We need 2 tablespoons of that. Also 1 tablespoon of maple syrup or agave syrup. And then 1 tablespoon of seed or nut butter. I'm using tahini this time. And then 1 teaspoon of lemon zest. And now we stir to combine. I forgot to mention before that we are gonna use some frozen blueberries, but you wanna add that last. So add just a few frozen blueberries. You're just gonna push them down a little bit, like that. And then add some on top. Now this one is going into the microwave as well on full heat for 1.5 minutes. And there we have it. Looks amazing with the blueberries on top, I think. If you want to make these even prettier, use a smaller mug so that the batter comes all the way up. This is also gonna rest a bit and we're gonna make the last mug cake. So, last recipe. This is actually a new recipe. It's not out right now in the app, but it will be when this video is out. We actually add new recipes every week to the app to keep the app updated and so that you get new content and inspiration every week. So for this mug cake we are gonna use some oat flour as a base, some agave syrup or maple syrup, vanilla powder, baking powder, not poppy seeds. And we're also gonna use some dark chocolate, preferably chocolate chips, but we didn't have any, so I'm just using regular vegan dark chocolate, and by vegan I mean dairy-free, so it's pretty easy to find actually. You just read on the back side of the chocolate package and look for dairy or whatever they can put into the chocolate. Look out for milk or dairy ingredients. We're gonna add the dry ingredients, stir, and then add the wet ingredients and then pop into the microwave, and then we have 3 amazing mug cakes. 5 tablespoons of oat flour. If you do eat regular flour, you can use that as well. With the oat flour it tastes more like whole grain. 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla powder or vanilla extract. Stir to combine. 3 tablespoons of plant milk, 1 tablespoon of agave or maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips, and then stir. You can add some extra chocolate chips on top because yeah, it just looks better. This one is going into the microwave for 1.5 minutes on full heat or full power. If you end up making one of these mug cakes, please tag me in on Instagram so that I can see them. I love seeing all of your recreations on my recipes, and I also share some of them on my stories because some of you make them so pretty and it looks so yummy. So yeah, please tag me in if you try any of them and let me know what you think of them. Done. So now we have 3 different mug cakes. You can add on like coconut yogurt on this one or a vanilla vegan yogurt. On this one we're gonna add a little bit of extra peanut butter. I've already destroyed this one because I took a photo of it. I really love the lemony flavor in this, so if you're a lemony zesty person, you're gonna love this. Chocolate chip mug cake. Super yummy with the chocolate chips inside. As you can see, it's slightly fudgy in the middle, but I'm a fudgy person, so I really like when it's fudgy. As we speak about fudginess, this is fudginess next level. Every time I make it, it's so good. So it's basically a fudgy brownie in a cup, less than 2 minutes. Cheers to that. Let me know in the comments down below which one you would choose first. I would definitely choose the fudgy one and the lemon one. It's a tie between these two. If you found this tutorial helpful, please leave it a thumbs up so that I know that you want more of these videos. And subscribe if you haven't. And then we see you in the next video.